The next generation of Adidas Predator is here, and it's called the Freak. With the top end models, there's been a lot of complaints about minimal change as well as a price increase with some models. Inside this box, I have the first Takedown model, which also sees a price increase, but one that is maybe justified because it's actually one of the best Takedown models we've ever seen from the Adi brand. Ladies and gentlemen, the Adidas Predator Freak.2. It bears a retail price of $130, which is significantly less expensive than the Freak.1, which retails for $250, and then $275 should you go for the Freak Plus. Nonetheless, it sees some significant change from the Predator 20.2 that it replaces, and honestly, some really nice improvements. It's not all perfect though, because there definitely are some elements on these boots that I think are a little bit cheaper than they should be, but as an overall package, there's a lot to like about these, and perhaps even reason to pick the Freak.2 over the much more expensive Freak.1. I'm going to talk about why that is in today's video. We'll go over all the technical information, and of course, take a look at how they fit and feel on feet. So if you're interested in learning more, please stick around and watch the entire review. And if you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, I'll leave a little pop-up on screen, or you can click the first link down below. That's going to take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $130 retail price. I almost forgot how much they cost. Really quickly, if you guys do end up enjoying this video and want to see more Takedown models reviewed on the channel, don't forget to support this one with a like. And I've also noticed that a lot of you who watch these videos aren't actually subscribed to the channel. If that's you, I would really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when my next new video goes live. Now, regular viewers of this channel know that I've been pretty hard on Adidas Takedown models basically from the beginning of this channel, and that's mainly down to the fact that a lot of them have been, let's say, less than stellar, but admittedly over the last 2 years or so, they seem to be getting their act together, and the Takedown models have improved significantly. The Predator 20.2, which of course this football boot replaces, retailed for $120 and did have some cheap things about it, but for the most part, it offered, I would say, a comparable experience in terms of touch on the ball and general feel when compared to the much more expensive top-end variants. And for $120, that's kind of what you expect a Takedown model to provide. Luckily, with the new model, we always expect improvement, and they have actually improved them in more ways than one. For me, one of the big differences that I immediately noticed when I put these on was the upper. It's still a textile or mesh-based upper, as you can see, but this feels significantly softer, and I'm not sure if that's down to the fact that the material does seem to be a little bit different, as well as the more spaced out demon skin rubber spikes, but in general, this has a much more sock-like sensation, to the point where I might even make the argument that this is slightly softer and more flexible than what you're going to find on the top-end versions of the Predator Freak. The second thing they've changed are the demon skin spikes, which, as you can see, now feature the new design of the Predator Freak and also offer significantly more coverage than what was found on the Predator 20.2. It's not the exact same layout because there are technically less demon skin spikes on the Takedown versus what you're going to find on the top end models. I have a Predator Freak.1 low as an example, and you can see side by side there are definitely more spikes on the high-end variation, but it's not a hugely significant difference. You'll notice that the spikes go pretty much all the way back, almost touching the heel counter on the top-end model, and they end significantly sooner on the 0.2 variant, but that's honestly an area that almost doesn't matter. You're not going to miss out on the fewer demon skin spikes that you have on the upper. And in terms of the general experience of the boot, you're still getting a ton of additional grip on the ball provided by these spikes. Also, unlike the previous generation, where really the Plus model had the most aggressive spikes, this still features the same rubber as well as the same general shape of spike that you find on the top end variant. So the experience is that much closer to what you're going to get from the top end model. And in terms of having that extra grip on the ball, it's certainly not for everybody, but considering that you can get pretty well the same level of grip at $130 that you can get for $250 or $275, is definitely a good thing. Another significant change that you'll notice coming from the Predator 20.2, which was exclusively available as a low-cut boot, the Freak.2 is only available in this mid-cut variation, at least as of right now. I don't think that's going to change in the future, however. And it does feature the newer collar design that does kind of mirror what you're gonna find on the Freak.1 mid as well as the Freak Plus model, but it is made out of an entirely different material, admittedly a much thinner, much cheaper kind of elasticated mesh that really doesn't have much structure to it. That's why it kind of just flops around and looks so flimsy when the boots are not on feet. This is definitely not a football boot designed to be worn laceless, for the record. This material has no structure to it, which is why you do have a lacing system that does mirror very much what you're going to find on the top end models, and in general it feels quite good. I think the one thing that I wasn't a huge fan of on the Predator 20.2 was that kind of harder plasticky synthetic material you had filling in the central portion of the upper. While this is admittedly maybe a little bit cheaper looking, it feels significantly better on feet and just wraps across the top of your foot very seamlessly and also very comfortably. Moving to the rear, because this does not feature the same sole plate, you don't get the external heel counter. Instead, the structure is all internal, which works out fine. The fit in the heel, while not perfect, is significantly better than a lot of past Adidas Takedown models that have suffered from this kind of awkward shaped heel counter that give the boots a very shallow feel. That's not so much an issue with these. And then internally, it features this soft microfiber liner material, plenty of padding, again, very similar to what you're gonna find on the top end variations. And then the insole is technically removable, although they do glue it in at the front. You can pull it out and it is maybe a little bit cheaper than it should be for a football boot that retails for $130. It's a very smooth liner on the surface and a single layer of this black foam that, as you can see, is just flat material that they've carved into the shape of an insole rather than one that is 3D molded. Moving to the base of the boot, this is where they have not made any changes from the Predator 20.2, and unlike the more expensive Freak variants, which have the split sole control frame, this is a solid sole plate with, of course, some extra color at the heel to give it the split sole look. Nonetheless, this is definitely on the cheaper side in terms of other football boots that are available at this price point, especially from the Nike brand. I think they do a much better job of more premium looking and feeling sole plates at these mid-tier price points. Nonetheless, it's not awkwardly stiff in any way at all. It's just, I think, a little bit cheaper than it should be, but one that ultimately doesn't hinder the overall feel or performance of the boots. And then as far as the stud pattern is concerned, it's the same layout you're gonna find across the entire Predator line, with these kind of somewhat bladed style studs. They're definitely more bladed in the heel, but it's the same general layout you're gonna find across the entire Adidas brand for basically the last decade. So if you've worn an Adidas boot lately, you kind of know what to expect. And then when it comes to weight, they are not lighter than the Predator 20.2 they replaced, nor are they very impressive for modern football boots in general. In a size 9.5 US, you can see that the Freak.2 Predator weighs in at a fairly hefty 9.85 ounces, the equivalent of 279 grams, which is definitely on, I don't want to say the heavier side, because I don't think that these are unwearably heavy, but by modern day standards, especially when compared to most other takedown models from Adidas and especially from Nike, these are not going to feel very lightweight on your feet at all. They do weigh basically 2 ounces more than the top end Predator Freak equivalents. So as long as you're not after something that has that lightweight feel, you're unlikely to have an issue with these. Just know they're not very light. So here are the Freak.2s on feet, paired with some neon yellow Pure Grip socks, which is my own brand of grip socks. A great way to help reduce slippage on the inside of your boots, as well as just increase overall comfort. They're available in a wide variety of colors for the extremely affordable price of just $14.99 a pair. If you're interested in trying some for yourself, the website to visit is puregripsocks.com, which will be linked down below. Now, as far as how these fit and feel on feet, I'm really impressed with them. The upper feels very soft, definitely an improvement over the 20.2 that this replaces. The overall fit of the boot isn't the same as the more expensive 0.1 and plus models, in that it's a little bit more straight up and down in terms of overall width. It doesn't pinch as much through the midfoot, so I think for a lot of people, you might actually prefer the way that the 0.2 model fits over the more expensive ones. My one complaint in regards to fit is gonna come from the heel, which does fit a little bit more shallow than the top end ones, and just shallower than I would like it to feel in general. This is something that has plagued Adidas takedown models for a very long time, although this is kind of a best case scenario of that particular issue, where I would say it's a slight issue rather than a severe one like you'll find with some of the cheaper takedown models in the Pred Freak range. Look out for those videos coming soon. But in general, really comfortable and some decent width as well. As long as you don't have super wide feet, I think these are gonna fit most people quite comfortably. And then as far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing these in my usual size 9.5 US, and the fit and the length is perfect. So if you're looking to order some for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. So in conclusion, I can strongly recommend the Predator Freak.2 because I think it's a good representation of what a takedown model should be. Is it as good as the more expensive Freak.1 or Freak Plus? Certainly not. But it's comfortable, it fits well, it offers the demon skin rubber spikes scattered across the entire upper. Despite being a little bit different, you're still getting 95% of what is the experience on offer from the top end Predator at a much lower price point. And while they did cheap out on things like the insole and certainly the Soleplate, it's not detrimental to the overall experience. The boots could also be a little bit lighter, but that's besides the point. I think if you're on the market for a pair of football boots that offer the extra level of grip that only the Predator series currently has on offer, and you don't want to spend nearly $300, then by all means, take a look at the Predator Freak.2. I think you're going to be really happy with them. Does that mean you should buy these over the Freak.1 if you can afford them? I guess that's a matter of opinion. I think if you're a little bit of a boot nerd, then you'll probably appreciate the extra quality and detail of that top end model. But if you're more of a, I just want football boots that feel good and perform the part, then I think saving the money and buying the Freak.2 is probably the way to go. Anyways, guys, that's it for my review. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. Again, if you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, you can click the first link down below. That's going to take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $130 retail price. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down below in the comment section. If you aren't subscribed to the channel already, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.